Hey, what's up guys, it's MugenLord here, and today I want to talk about more indie games once again. I really appreciate some of you guys who's coming through to check out some of the indie games I have posted here on this channel. Like I said, I want to be a channel that also provide alternatives and try to pretty much also present to you guys some solutions to the problems that's been going on within the gaming industry. So we're going to continue this trend, and today I want to talk about a particular indie game action RPG that's coming out that a lot of you guys are looking forward to, and that game is called Lost Soul Aside. So before we even dive into this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. Now, I would say this personally, Lost Soul Aside was one of those projects that, especially at the time that it was first announced, I didn't know what to think of it, because it was like a mishmash of so many different things that I've already seen in the industry. But now I'm starting to realize how important it is today than what it was a long time ago, back a few years. I think it was back 2014 during the time that this was first revealed, and where gaming was pretty much different back then. We just got hit with Gamergate at the time, so we didn't really see the ripple effects of what they was going to cause later on in the future. But it was something that I looked at and said, okay, whatever. But now we start to see the importance of it, because a lot of you guys are super excited and waiting for it because of how much time has changed since it was revealed up until now. So we're going to dive into this article. Now, I was always wondering what studio was behind this. I wasn't sure if it was a Japanese studio or was it a Korean or Chinese studio. So apparently it's a Chinese studio. So we're going to just go over to some of, I guess you would say, some of the details of the game, because there's talks that we may be getting some new information about the game, and also we may get some information about a release date now that the developer now has a team, since now that Sony, which we'll talk about in a second as well, is also funding the project as well. So it says Lost Soul Aside, gameplay and story info, everything we know so far. So it says play as Kaiser, as he utilized the powers of the arena to conjure weapons and magic to defeat his enemies in stylish combat. So it says the plot. Lost Aside takes place in a world torn apart by war, and will follow the journey of Kaiser, who finds himself fused with a supernatural race known as the Arena, that's an interesting name, the Arena. And you think about and it makes sense because he's able to wield different weapons. And when you think of an arena, especially a Colosseum, during the Roman Empire and everything, when you look at these arenas, you think about multitude of different weapons and everything like that. So to have a supernatural race called the Arena, and then he's able to conjure and utilize various different weapons, I like that idea. So it says, as they are bonded, they are able to communicate with each other and must help each other survive. The symbiote takes the form of a shadowly floating dragon head that can transform into a variety of weapons and fly. And plus, it's a dragon on top of that. What kind of, that's a crazy concept. Trust each other and survive against the countless onslaught of enemies that stand in their way. Lost Soul Aside is a character action spectacle fighting game that is heavily inspired by Final Fantasy 15. And that's also I want to talk about. This at first was a one-man team, a one-person team, and everybody was impressed. Like, yo, one motherfucker was able to create something like this. And it started out, and like I said before, it always starts out as a hobby, just something that you want to have fun with and something that you want to do. That's where most talent come from. When you're not doing it to make money, you're just doing it for your passion, you're doing it because you love doing it, and then you end up making something miraculous that got everybody's attention. And that's what ended up happening. You end up seeing a display of it, and people say, yo, I'll fuck with this, I will really play this game. And then it just blows up to something much greater. So it says the developer himself, Bing Yang, stated that he started working on the game due to seeing footage of Final Fantasy 15 back in 2014, when it was still known as Final Fantasy 13 Versus. The inspiration clearly shows, as the Kaiser protagonist shares several similarities to Noctis' moveset and even his appearance to an extent. However, the combat is far similar, being much more like a Devil May Cry, being able to string along combos between weapons on the fly. Lost Aside gameplay feels like Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 was plopped into a Devil May Cry game without limits, allowing him to utilize royal arms harmoniously to style and efficiently defeat his enemies. So this is another thing I wanted to talk about here, because now that we have this, we have the ideas of what they're trying to accomplish with this. We talked about when it comes to Korean studios, how Korean studios has just been doing their damn thing with Liza P, Stellar Blade, and many other games that's coming here to the West, and how the South Korean government really wants to push emphasis in attacking and going straight for the home console market, and they want to fund and finance a lot of these Korean studios in order to be able to push a lot of their games on these platforms. And as I said before, now you have the Korean studios doing their thing. What about the Chinese studios? And apparently that Sony, it had latched onto it because they have Lost Soul Aside is part of this thing called the China Hero Project, which you can go to their website. I'll probably post in the link in the description below. And it says the China Hero Project is a PlayStation mentoring and support initiative for China-based developers, helping them to create incredible games that reach to a global audience. And so here are some of the games, and I didn't know Mutationum, which is an indie game that I have. I didn't know it was Chinese, by a Chinese studio and stuff. Great game. I just got back around to playing it again because I've been so busy with my comic book company that I'm about to launch in the fall. But really fun and really good game, and I'll definitely be getting a review on that. But these are projects that a lot of Chinese studios are trying to get up off the ground and are really pursuing. And I must say that, hey, I'm looking forward to see what they have to offer. It's good to have a lot of variety. It's good to have, I would say, competition, because more competition is better when you have other type of studios from other different countries that's tipping their hat into the arena. Because we always had the West versus Japan when it came to game design. Now we have Korea, and then we have China. And hopefully we start to see a whole lot more for more eyes to see. Now, the only concerning thing that I do have with this is for the fact is that it's Sony on board, and we already know what the problem is when it comes to Sony. Every time they finance and put their hands in shit, there's always some issues. We already dealt with it when it comes to Stellar Blade. You know, Shift Up, Korean studio, they were going to go multi-platform with Stellar Blade, and then suddenly they made an announcement, which I covered here on this channel. You can go check that out as well. When they made the announcement that they will be partnering with Sony, and I made a video talking about, there's a cause for concern of where this could potentially go as long as they're under the Sony umbrella. So this is the same thing that we're talking about here. After seeing the censorship and everything that was going on with Stellar Blade, which is still going on and people still talking about as we speak, will we see any of that as far as we're concerned when it comes to their games and censorship now that they're under the Sony umbrella itself? But at the same time, it still doesn't help that, China also has their own type of censorship rules and regulations and stuff as well. But how much of an impact will Sony have with this Chinese Hero project? But I'm all open for different games, different point of views, and to see what they have to offer, because you can tell what's a Korean game, you can tell what's a Chinese game, and you can tell it's a Japanese game. I think that's what's pretty cool. You can tell where they're coming from, what part of the world, what region they're from, because they do offer a sense of a different style as far as aesthetics is concerned, even gameplay, and also narrative as well. And a lot of these Chinese games too, and these Korean games, they're visually and aesthetically stunning. That really draws you and pulls you in. So Lost Soul Aside was something that has been in the works for a very long time. It took a lot of inspiration, and it's the same thing as you see when I cover Icode. Icode started out as one person, one individual who just sat there, and she just said, you know what, this is fun, this is something I wanted to do, and it ended up blowing into something big. So what's your excuse? If one person, if these people can start off as by themselves and they want to becoming something really big that people are looking forward to get their hands on and try, then what's your excuse? What's stopping you from going out and taking your skills and talent to throw you and tip your hat into the arena and to develop something, to create something that the world may want to see, or the world don't know that they want, and actually ends up wanting it and needing it once they see it. So it's all up to you, and I leave it in the balls in your court. What's stopping you from creating something that's up there, that's up in your head? you know. But that pretty much wraps everything up. I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment sections below. What do you think about Lost Soul Aside? In its gameplay, in the similarities that it has with Final Fantasy 15 and Devil May Cry. Are you into these type of games? Are you looking forward to more information that we're pretty much people are speculating that we'll be getting pretty soon, now that this person has a team that help them work on the game? So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe button for more gaming content here on this channel. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.